presentation of TFNN. The Tom O'Brien Show is produced every business day. Tom takes your phone calls toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-873-7618.
Hey, Robert, how you doing, man?
Yes, and thank you for taking my call. I wanted to let you know that I've been a subscriber for a couple of years, just different members of your team, and I really enjoy it. But really the reason I'm calling is to express my sincerest gratitude for you providing that information yesterday on the small business grant. I'm a small business owner and primary breadwinner for my family, and if I can get that money, it's going to really mean a lot to my family. So
that's awesome.
Thank you for taking the time to do that.
No, well, listen, man, we appreciate you growling and prowling with us.
Now, Tom O'Brien.
Good afternoon, folks. Tommy O'Brien coming to you live from TFNN. Thanks for kicking off your Friday afternoon, final hour of the trading week, right here with me on the Tom O'Brien Show. And we got quite a two-way market right now. S&Ps, we're right back to where we were this morning, folks. Well, guess what? That's a solid 1% down and 1% up. Two-way action in this market, quite the volatility, and we have an S&P, right, as I mentioned, near the open. We're positive by 0.5%, up 37 points, trading at 75.10. NASDAQ 100, you got Amazon soaring higher, Apple pulling back, in quite a pullback for Apple. 9%, you were down to 300. Folks, if you haven't checked out Basil Chapman's opening call, it's right on the front page of TFNN. He just did a webinar this week, live for subscribers, 90-minute webinar. Okay, you gain access to that as a subscriber, and I mention it because how's that for a nice round number? There it is, folks, the opening call. What technicals to look for, what stocks and ETFs will benefit in the second half of this year. You can sign up for the opening call. You get a 30-day money-back guarantee, and I thought of Basil today. Doesn't get much more round than that. 300 on the dot. Apple for a low on the day, but still down 9% for Apple shares. Quite a pullback. On the flip side of that, Amazon up 15.2%. These numbers, man, okay? Video game style numbers. You're talking about Amazon. Yeah, approximately 10 billion shares. Man, this is wild, right? So yesterday you had Microsoft make nearly 500 billion in market cap appreciation. Today you're going to have Amazon make 360 to 370, big numbers, man. Yeah, almost 11 billion, 390, somewhere between 360 to 390 billion in market capitalization increase for Amazon. And on the flip side of that, you have Apple down 29 bucks. And you got almost 15 billion shares outstanding for them. So they're going to lose 450 billion in market cap. I was making the case this morning, folks. You know, the administration's making the case that there's too much public sharing of information when companies have to report earnings every 90 days. This earnings cycle with these big spenders, right? The fact that they're all jumping around $300 to $500 billion on what happened in the last 90 days, it is remarkable. Not even to mention what's happening with the chip stocks, right? SanDisk goes from 970 to 1400, but that's a story of leverage, and we'll get into that one. All right. We jump over to crude. We hit a high of nearly $86 on the session. We're trading right now at $84.66. The story of the day, though, folks, is yields and what's happening with the dollar. The two of them combined. We got the 10-year right now at 4.75%, folks. Right? That's 3/4 point hikes since the war began with Iran. That's it. It's simple math. The 10-year was at 4% coming into the war. There it is, folks. Okay? And, you know, remarkably, you're down from 114 to a 107 handle in about 5 months. And we now have the 10-year at 4.75. And we just broke the lows in terms of price action that we had said earlier. And on a longer-term basis, right, this is kind of the area that we've been down to on many occasions on the 10-year. We're at 4.75 right now. We'll see if it wants to make a run for 5%. Now, what's interesting, though, is that no one wants the dollar as yields are rising. Yeah, right? So at the same time, and you talk about the lack of correlation, you know, you have yields spiking higher and the dollar selling off. And that's what's been happening since the Fed decision. So there's a real chance here that you have a dislocation in that market even with higher yields in the U.S., the market's worried about the strength of the dollar. Now, gold's not quite sure what to do, right? Because in any other scenario, you have spiking yields, you have dollar strengthening, and you have gold pulling back, and that's the run. We had $100 from high to low from last night, okay? And then you have a slight bounce, but all things considered, sitting at 41.03. Yeah, you're talking about quite a number to be holding up as we have the 10-year approaching 4.75. There's some strength in that number. There really is, because yields are on fire. You got silver right now down 92 pennies, down 1.5%. You know, you jump over to the dollar yen. Okay, you look at the moves. Another move at 120 where you drive down over a full point. And so you have intervention going on in Japan. All right, now that's a weekly. All right, it's a little bit clearer when you put it on a daily, how you get 1, 2, 3 moves. The reverberation has been pretty quick, as in when they've stepped in previously, folks, okay, and this is strengthening of the yen and weakening of the dollar. When they've stepped in previously, you're talking about a matter of days until you snap back. So we'll see how the market reacts this time. You're at 158.95. That's the weakest the yen has been in 40 years before we just strengthened there. 40 years, 1986, folks. And it's still not too late. You want to go vacation in Japan? Okay, lock in some yen, because risk-reward-wise, you can't go wrong. Yes, it can weaken further. Okay, you better believe it can, man, right? Don't think it can't go to 200 or something, okay? Look at this no man's land we're in, right? Now you got levels out here of 200. That was the last. Technically, that's your area, right? But getting 160 yen for $1 US, folks, when in 2021 you were almost at just getting 100 yen, you're getting 60% more buying power in Japan right now than you were at the beginning of 2021 for your US dollar. 60%. Yeah, and there's more going on than that in terms of what's priced what, but that's the basics, man. And that is the strength of, you know, having a strong currency. Yeah, when we have a very strong currency, right, it's tough to sell other countries our goods. When we want to get paid in our very strong currency, it hurts exports, right? We want a weak currency, we can sell everybody our stuff, the president, okay? But on a longer-term basis, you want your currency strong, and you see it play out when you do dealings on a global basis. Now, that can go to an extreme as well. But, you know, this move right now with no one buying the dollar and no one buying yields. Both of them, right? They're selling the 10-year, which is forcing yields higher, and still the dollar's selling off right now. On the heels of what happened Wednesday, we got a little bit of a trend starting this week. We got markets in the green. We're coming right back, folks.
If you spend any time online researching trading techniques on how to begin your trading journey, you've no doubt come across many folks who push Forex trading as a way to make big money quickly. Unfortunately, there are equally as many stories of these so-called Forex professionals just looking to make a quick buck off aspiring traders without actually teaching the ins and outs of the Forex market. This is what sets Teddy Keckstack's The Tiger Forex Report off the riffraff. Every Monday, former Chicago Mercantile Exchange member and author Teddy Keckstack releases his Tiger Forex Report newsletter, where he dives into the complex world of Forex and takes time to actually teach you his methods that have made him so successful in the fast-paced and rewarding world of Forex trading. Furthermore, all subscribers receive access to archived live streams of Teddy's, where he provides university-level education to help you in Forex trading. All first-time subscribers receive a 30-day money-back guarantee. So what are you waiting for? Forex awaits.
The reality is that navigating financial markets can be risky. Markets can be chaotic and difficult to understand. Having the latest market advice can help you turn this chaos into a key for creating winning trades. At TFNN, we understand that it can be hard to find reliable market news. That's why each of our market experts offers their very own market newsletter, a must-have tool for every trader out there striving to find an edge in today's markets. TFNN newsletters cover every aspect of the markets so you can analyze the market before you trade. Try any of our great newsletters risk-free with our 30-day money-back guarantee. Just visit the Newsletters tab on the front page of TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors.
Sharpening your skills as an investor is like getting better at playing a musical instrument. You have to practice, sure, but you also need excellent instruction from experts. At TFNN, you'll get advice and guidance from the authority in technical market analysis. And it's not just dry, tedious text either. TFNN airs live financial content streamed live on TFNN.com and TFNN's YouTube channel with Tiger TV, live every market day from 8:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern. For free. Each host is an experienced trader and gives their take on the market while taking calls and questions live from around the world. From the moment the market opens until the closing bell sounds, Tiger TV has 8 different shows with expert hosts to help you make the right moves with your money. Watch online at TFNN.com or on TFNN's YouTube channel and become the investor you were born to be. TFNN, educating investors.
Welcome back, folks, and we just got another leg. Not sure if it's a news-driven, but look at this pop we just got in the S&Ps. Literally, just when I went into that commercial break, we got a pop of almost 10 points. The market persisting higher. S&Ps up 50 points. NASDAQ 100, slight lift as well. We got the Dow up 321, and the Russell catches a lift as well. You jump over to crude, no movement in crude. Slight elevation, if anything. Trading at 84.70 right now. We jump back to yields, no reprieve there, 4.75%. And the dollar sitting under 100 right now. As I said, gold, if you told me that the 10-year was going to be at 4.75% on July 31st and asked me where gold was going to be, I'd probably say below 4,100, folks. Okay? Because you look at this market, right? We've now broken decisively to lower price and higher yield on the 10-year. Okay, look at this move. So May 20th, you came all the way down to about 108.21. May 20th. All right, and then you were back down there June 5th. Remember that, May 20th and June 5th. Okay? And look at this, yeah. So May 20th, you were at 44.78. Now, there's June 5th, so you've dropped a bit from there, you have. So on June 10th, we were where we were. Let's see where we're in yields on June 10th. Yeah, there's June 10th. So we've dropped the whole full point since then. In the 10-year, and gold is shopping around in that area right now. But it's dicey, folks. It's going to be really interesting if we get yields accelerating and the dollar getting trashed in the same way, right? It's kind of what's playing out right now. Gold's not quite sure what to make of it. All right, let's jump over to Apple. I was talking to a friend earlier today. Saying Apple's a great company, man. It's just overbought. And they have some issues now. And we got some volume on this one, too. Check this out, folks. Look at the volume on this selling. Okay, this volume is down here on the lows. All right? And those lows are 273.75. And this is going to be the most volume that Apple's traded outside of that low, going all the way back to the week of February 2nd. And the high of that bar is about 280. So you got 280, the high of that strength, and you got 273, the low of that acceleration to the June lows. And, the real dicey part is that if this thing ever made a run for the lower part of that channel, and folks, that's still finding support in an upward channel, could bring you back to 233. Yeah, I mean, look at this. You're down, $28 today, but you're down $40 from where we were trading at 48 hours ago. $40. Yeah, you're down 12% in Apple shares from there, down 8.5 today. Yeah, Amazon, man. Bezos, the king. Pretty remarkable. Up 15.2%. As I mentioned, man, just video game style numbers. But AWS, folks, growing at 37%. 37% AWS is growing at, and that's up from a high 20s number, I believe. The number, just staggering. Their AI unit, $25 billion run rate. Their chips unit, $25 billion run rate. But the AWS growth is what's plowing forward, and it's the fact that they're making money using AI. They're going to be spending $220 billion in CapEx. You're up $15. And we take a look at a longer-term chart of this thing, and how's that, man? Boy, it'd really be wild if you could ever get above 278, but I don't think it's got $6 more in it today, but you never know. All right? You never know. Look at this market. All right. I wouldn't be surprised if we got something happening, folks, whether it's news, but you're breaking above this area on the S&P. And the NASDAQ, I mean, we had buying no matter what. Look at that spike at 315. We push higher. We take a look at the heat map in this market. Oof. Yeah, Google up 6.3%, man, on the heels of Amazon. The cloud business on fire. Apple in the red. Micron off 4.2. Let's take a look at Micron. What's going on here? That was quite a sell-off. Yeah, SanDisk ripped lower as well. Down 2.3% right now. All right, Lamb gives it back. That was the sell-off. And look at how, it's interesting, right? In terms of, there was the sell-off, and then they get into other equities, right? As in the NASDAQ came back to where we were at 845 this morning. The S&Ps are well above where we were this morning. Micron was trading at 900. We're at 839 right now. SanDisk was trading near, $100 higher in the pre-market. We had 1,400. We're at 1,250 right now. We jump over to NVIDIA shares. There you go. Now, the big dogs that matter in this market. NVIDIA. What are we pushing for valuation now? $4.85 trillion. $200.50. NVIDIA up by 2.8%. Walmart up by 0.2%. Jump around to some consumer-facing. Procter & Gamble up by 0.3%. We'll check in on Mickey D's, up by about 0.8%. How about Ferrari with their numbers earlier this week? Down 0.9% for Ferrari. Ford, down 1.1. We jump over to Tesla, up 0.5%. And SpaceX shares, down 3.4%. Protect yourself on SpaceX, folks. Part of me wants to find a bargain in this equity, right? And say, man, look how patient I've been. I could have gotten clobbered if I bought this thing at 225. Here I am at 108. The IPO was 135. It debuted at 150. How could I not be buying this thing at 108? And the market does get ahead of things, folks, okay? So the market's no fool. And the market's well aware of the lockups that come in, and they're coming this week, folks, this coming week. Okay, we have earnings for SpaceX on Tuesday, August 4th. Yeah, this Tuesday. And then the lockups expire. They begin expiring 2 days after that. But what's remarkable is that right now SpaceX has 367 million shares that are floating. Okay, that's what's out there. It's a 1.4 trillion valuation, but that 1.4 trillion valuation is based off 13 billion shares that are totally outstanding. The float, 367 million. I mean, if you put this in like a finance class, right? You were like, listen, we're only going to sell 300 million shares of it, but we're going to base the entire valuation off what we would get off the company if we sold all 13 billion shares. Be like, well, do you think you could really sell 13 billion shares to somebody and keep a valuation of 1.4 trillion? And you go, that doesn't matter. We're just going to push out like 5% of the company, even less than that, right? We'll push out a float. We'll base the valuation. We'll let insiders get out, and then we'll have lockups that roll every 2 weeks throughout the year, but insiders are tied up until next year. That's what's going to happen. So how many shares get unlocked after their first earnings event? How many shares, folks? 900 plus million. 900 plus million. And you only have 367 million floating right now. And they just keep coming. Every 2 or 3 weeks, you're going to get another unlocking of shares to the tune of 4.5 billion shares unlocked by the end of this year. And the rest of the 60% with Elon, that'll be about June of next year, but they start next week. S&P's up by 53. We'll come right back, folks.
Many trading newsletters attempt to focus on a narrow set of equities or commodities. While this works for some, it oftentimes misses many opportunities that possess huge gain potential. But how is an independent trader supposed to scan the entire market looking for these hidden opportunities? One simple answer: the opening call newsletter. Basil Chapman, developer of the Chapman Wave trading methodology, has been trading the markets for longer than most trading influencers have been alive. And over that time, he has honed his methodology in order to accurately call movements in a wide range of equities, from semiconductors to uranium to key indices and so much more. Basil is old school, taking the time to educate the trader while also giving his insights into key indices, selective stocks, and more. Opening call subscribers also receive access to dozens of educational live streams that can be accessed at any time for your edification. All first-time subscribers receive a 30-day money-back guarantee. So ignore the pop trading influencers and start learning time-tested technical analysis.
Steve Rhodes started his trading career as a student almost 20 years ago, and the student has now become the master. Steve won the prestigious Timer of the Year award in 2018 and barely missed that mark again in 2019, finishing at number 2 for the year. An amazing accomplishment. Steve Rhodes is committed to sharing his techniques and knowledge with anyone who wants to learn, and he shares his vast amount of trading knowledge every day in his Mastering Probability newsletter. Steve's award-winning newsletter, Mastering Probability, is delivered every trading day with updates throughout the afternoon. Sign up for Steve's market newsletter, Mastering Probability, and you'll receive access to 7 of Steve's educational webinars absolutely free. At TFNN, all our newsletters come with a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have absolutely nothing to worry about. Visit TFNN.com and try Mastering Probability 30 days risk-free today. TFNN, educating investors.
Sharpening your skills as an investor is like getting better at playing a musical instrument. You have to practice, sure, but you also need excellent instruction from experts. At TFNN, you'll get advice and guidance from the authority in technical market analysis. And it's not just dry, tedious text either. TFNN airs live financial content streamed live on TFNN.com and TFNN's YouTube channel with Tiger TV, live every market day from 8:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern, for free. Each host is an experienced trader and gives their take on the market while taking calls and questions live from around the world. From the moment the market opens until the closing bell sounds, Tiger TV has 8 different shows with expert hosts to help you make the right moves with your money. Watch online at TFNN.com or on TFNN's YouTube channel and become the investor you were born to be. TFNN, educating investors.
This portion of the Tom O'Brien Show is brought to you by Direction's daily leveraged and inverse ETFs. Whether you're a bull or a bear, you choose the direction. Visit Direction.com. Investing in the funds involves significant risk and should only be utilized by investors who understand the impact of leverage and actively monitor their portfolio. They are not designed to track the underlying index or security for more than a day. Before investing, carefully consider a fund's investment objective, risks, charges, and expenses contained in the prospectus available at Direction.com. Read carefully. ALPS Distributors, Inc.
Welcome back, folks. We got the S&P's up by nearly 50 points. NASDAQ 100 up by 210 right now. And yeah, K. Cruz, you take a look at, so today's the last trading day of July, of course, July 31st. And how about the SPY? Talk about some volatility this month in the SPY. We got a green print, folks, for the SPY. Now, not quite the same case for the futures. On a monthly basis, the futures slightly in the red. You jump over the NASDAQ 100, though, different story. Right? Now, you do have volume at the top there. We trade back a little bit lighter volume. But if anything looks symmetrical, okay, that's what worrisome there. You jump over the Qs, right? Lighter volume than at the top. But quite a different chart than when you're looking at the S&Ps, of course. And then I saved the best for last. Not really, right? If we dig into the individual equities. But boy, the semis, okay? All the volume on the pullback, right? You make a high, you rip lower, you do it with volume. That's your monthly. And on a weekly basis, how's that for you? Okay, look at the volume on the semis. And yeah, that's going to happen when you got moves like this. All right, SanDisk. Okay, we're well off the lows, but look at this monthly. What's wild is, look at, when did I? Yeah, right there, man. Whoops. Volume matters on a longer term basis, folks. Markets can always, stay light, right? Drift higher on vapor thin volume. But the way this thing traded higher, and maybe this is where you go test, man, 600, right? SanDisk off by $33 today, but still keep your spikes up in that memory sector, folks. You saw it play out today on the open, right? It was like, we're back, baby, we're back. No, you're not back. $200 gone by 10 a.m. in the morning. Did you go get some coffee between 9:30 and 10 o'clock? $200 in SanDisk. Stay vigilant in these markets, folks. Okay, Micron, you pounce from 920 down to 820. Same thing, double-digit percentage move. You're down by 4.1% right now. We take a look at Micron. Right, not quite the same pronounced volume. SanDisk was quite a story. Now, some of the other equities that brought down that fine 24-year-old gentleman, look at this volume on Bloom Energy, right? Dicey action, man, on a longer-term basis as we wrap up the month. Talk about some moves. Look at Google taking a run, too. You take a look at Google. Now, you're going to be a little light on the volume. Look at, you rip lower last week on Google and you catch a bounce. You get above it. We're at 101 million versus 122. See what we get for the last half hour in volume on the close, but we're probably not going to do 20 million on the close. See what happens at the end of the month. All right, talking about those Amazon earnings, okay, I referenced them, but taking a look at them, man. 37% AWS to $42.2 billion. CapEx, $220 billion from $200 billion. They upped that ante. So the AWS revenue was projected to be 40.6. It comes in at 42.2. The investments would moderate over time because it's currently building data centers from the ground up. The sites will last 30 years, while the equipment inside will have to be updated every 5 to 6. It's not going to be like they're just going to be replacing the chips going forward. I kind of believe that, right? That's not the expensive part of what they're building out. It's really not. It's the farms of chips, but to a certain degree, right? They're just going to be able to bang out those chips. They're going to build the infrastructure. Sales in the current quarter, 197 to 202, and operating income of 22.5 to 26.5 billion. Now that's a little light on what the market was looking for, which is 25.1 billion on revenue of 203.9. But no one cares right now, because everyone's worried about how much money you're going to spend and if you're able to make any money from all the CapEx you're spending to build out your server farms for AI. That's it. And in that regard, they're crushing it, man. Because revenue jumped 37%. AI unit alone is at 25 billion annual run rate. And the chips unit's at 25 billion annual run rate too. But AWS, 37%, man. Gangbuster numbers, and the market reacts. And Google reacts as well. Amazon, look at that move, man. Hey, maybe you will get this high. 278.56. We'll see if we make a run. Amazon pushing session highs right now. Just hit 272. Check in on crude, 84.79. All right, yields touch 107 and change, and we're back to 108.02. But boy, 4.75 is where we basically are right now. And the dollar's at 100. Nice round number. Take a look at the GDX, down 3.1% right now, 74.36. And yeah, with yields jumping like this, been quite a run for yields, and the dollar factors in as well, of course, right? Gold's priced in dollars in America, folks. That's what we're trading off right now. And so GDX off 3.2%. Yeah, silver down 1.5%. Jump over to platinum. Look at platinum in the positive right now. And copper as well. Copper's so strong, man. Southern Copper down by 0.7% right now. Freeport down 1.1. All right, we jump around to what else we got going on. It's going to be interesting to see how this changes the landscape of healthcare, companies, and whether you talk about just the landscape of it within the country, and then, of course, how it's going to hit equities. The projections in this article from the Journal, folks, this one's out this morning. The rising number of uninsured patients starts to hit hospitals as you have millions of Americans drop from the Affordable Care Act, okay, after higher subsidies expired. So they can't pay for them. They get dropped. Excuse me. And check out these projections. This is where we are now, and this goes out to just past 2035. And this is the percentage change from 2025. Uninsured are going to go up by 41%. Medicare is going to go up by 17%. Employment-based is going to add 3%. Okay, and then on the flip side of that, 33% are going to come off the ACA, right? It's going almost right to uninsured. Yeah. Medicaid and CHIP is going to decline as well. 41%. And so some of the hospitals, they're going to end up, whether it's, and you're already seeing emergency care, but that stunned me. 41% uninsured from where you're looking at over a 10-year period. Hopefully we'll figure something out. Folks, coming right back. S&P's up 54.
If you're looking for potential trading setups in the stock market, then Rocket Equities and Options Report is a newsletter you should try. Tommy O'Brien delivers options and equity trades when the markets present them using a combination of fundamentals and technicals. Sign up for Rocket Equities and Options Report today with a 30-day money-back guarantee so you have nothing to risk. For all the details and to start your subscription today, visit the front page of TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors. For traders who crave risk, Direxion's daily leveraged and inverse ETFs provide opportunities to magnify short-term perspectives with up to 3 times a daily leverage, utilize bull and bear funds for both sides of the trade, and trade through rapidly changing markets. These are highly leveraged ETFs with daily resetting designed for short-term trading, not long-term investing. Whether you're a bull or a bear, you choose the direction. For up-to-date pricing and performance, go to Direction.com. Investing in the funds involves significant risk and should only be utilized by investors who understand the impact of leverage and actively monitor their portfolio. They are not designed to track the underlying index or security for more than a day. Before investing, carefully consider a fund's investment objective, risks, charges, and expenses contained in the prospectus available at Direction.com. Read carefully. ALPS Distributors, Inc.
The reality is that navigating financial markets can be risky. Markets can be chaotic and difficult to understand. Having the latest market advice can help you turn this chaos into a key for creating winning trades. At TFNN, we understand that it can be hard to find reliable market news. That's why each of our market experts offers their very own market newsletter. A must-have tool for every trader out there striving to find an edge in today's markets. TFNN newsletters cover every aspect of the markets so you can analyze the market before you trade. Try any of our great newsletters risk-free with our 30-day money-back guarantee. Just visit the Newsletters tab on the front page of TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors.
TFNN has launched the Tiger's Den, hosted at Discord. TFNN has been educating traders for more than 20 years with live programming hosted by a variety of professional traders during market hours. The Tiger's Den, available to all tigers and tigresses for just $1 for the year. There's no catch or added costs when you join our community of traders. Sign up today and become a part of this educational community of traders. Just visit the front page of TFNN.com.
This program is brought to you by Vista Gold, traded on the NYSE American and TSX under the symbol VGZ.
Tom O'Brien.
Welcome back, folks. S&P's right near the session highs, up 0.7%. NASDAQ 100 up 0.7% as well. You got a Dow up 0.7%. But the Russell, I think the Russell's a little worried about yields more so than everybody else. Also not getting carried by some of the gains that you got going on, like Amazon, Google, NVIDIA as well. The Russell right now down by 0.5%, 2940. But the story is yields. Now we're bouncing a bit coming into the close. Okay, but we just hit 4.75, folks, when I was on the air. And you got a dollar right now at 99.29. Gold just hanging around 4,100. And the VIX, no one's worried about this market right now, folks. 1607. On the volatility index. We might hit a 15 handle. 15 handle. That didn't look likely this morning, but we might. We're at 1606, quite a number. And yeah, talking about the Bank of Japan, I mentioned it, but worth mentioning it. 53 billion is what they likely came in with. Japan likely spent around 53 billion intervening in the currency market on Thursday, according to Bloomberg analysis of central bank accounts. That would likely be the biggest ever intervention in a single day in Tokyo. And yeah, you just hit a 4-decade low this month. And yeah, you strengthen a bit. Dollar weakens. We'll see if we get a reverberation next week, though, right? We will see. So this one, Moonshot's Kimi. It was built on 20,000 NVIDIA chip clusters from Alibaba. Yeah. So the most remarkable part here is that hardware, okay, for the use of around 20,000 NVIDIA chips, right, is a compute agreement with Alibaba. Now that underscores China's continued reliance on NVIDIA chips. Right? It sure does. When they have breakthrough models like this, they're using, okay, NVIDIA chips. They have the Kimi K3 open source AI model, and yeah, it competes with the best of them, with OpenAI and Anthropic on some metrics. Alibaba is one of their largest investors and expects the companies it backs to use their cloud, okay? But they're also competitors, and now Kimi, using infrastructure to provide Alibaba, has surpassed Alibaba's own product in important performance metrics. This is wild, right? So they're a customer using Alibaba's infrastructure, and their models are better than Alibaba's using Alibaba's infrastructure. And yeah, you think that's been a source of disappointment for some people at Alibaba? I think so. I think it should be. Now, this is where it gets especially interesting, okay, how they get around all this in terms of restricting China's access to the chips. According to a White House official, Moonshot skirted the rules. And they accused the company of illegally acquiring NVIDIA's most advanced Blackwell chips. Yet the U.S. rules generally allow Chinese firms to access these very same chips via compute rental agreements. Moonshot did this too via an unnamed party in Thailand, and that the company likely used these accelerators for training K3. He also claimed that Moonshot used a technique called distillation to train K3 using outputs generated by Anthropic's top Fable model. Yeah, and a person familiar confirmed that the company does indeed have a channel for accessing Blackwell. They didn't specify whether this was a rental channel, which is legal in most cases. Seems like quite a loophole that you can just sign rental agreements for the compute you need to plow through these. Now, the theory is that they are just renting it, right? They don't own it. And yeah, Moonshot, no surprise, they want more Blackwell processors to train their next model. And the 20,000 chips they used are from the earlier generation Hopper. And that was specifically the H200s, the most powerful Hopper accelerators. Now, Alibaba denied that the company provided them to Moonshot. They did not deny that the company supplies 20,000 NVIDIA chips of compute capacity to Moonshot. See that? Right? It's quite a nuance they're playing with here. The U.S. has issued licenses for some direct H200 sales, which was a reversal under Trump, but a senior U.S. official recently said only a trivial number have actually shipped. Did you catch that clip of Jensen Huang in the White House when Trump said that the U.S. is way beyond anybody China? And it was something where Trump basically said, China can't do anything with AI. We're eating their lunch. They're not even nothing. And Jensen Huang's face was kind of like, really? Like, really? I think, yeah. Hey, not that it's the end of the world. He didn't call him out, but he was amused by those comments, at least, right? They might be a little bit of a player. They're trying to be. Don't think they're going down, right? They better be. For their own survival, they need to be. And they know that. So, crude up 1.5% right now. What else have we got pulled up? Yeah, Apple, just a story of slower growth, and they're limited by some of their capacity in terms of securing chips. They're already facing problems for profits. A couple articles out here, but we know these stories, man. Okay, there's dissension among the Fed, and the market's playing it out today. There's dissension among the market and the chairman right now. Okay? The longer that high inflation persists, the more challenging and costly it can be to bring back down. That's Beth Hammack, Cleveland Fed President. Kashkari said in a separate statement he would rather tighten policy incrementally as we gather more data on the path of inflation and employment. I wonder, we'll see when Mr. Warsh has his next press conference, and we'll see if he gets some questions about the market reaction versus no Fed action, right? Because his press conference yesterday, and that's one of the pushbacks, I had it up here, forgive me. Here we go. Left investors baffled at that second press conference. And one of the things was that he was actually touting that rates have continued to rise higher, almost like the yields were doing the work for him. And the pushback there is that that's the same type of price action you would get if the market had a credibility problem with the Fed. And so, that's where you could get some confusion. There was a discussion in the last 2 days is that the dominant remedy if inflation continues to be elevated through the forecast period, interest rates could well be part of that solution, but I wouldn't say it's an isolation. Yeah, we've got no magic wand. Can't carry it out in days or weeks. No rush to raise rates is how they brought it. And they said, man, that's worrisome. All right, folks, S&Ps, we're making a run. Up by 64. NASDAQ up by 260. We're approaching those highs. S&P's well over. We'll come right back, folks.
trading newsletters attempt to focus on a narrow set of equities or commodities. While this works for some, it oftentimes misses many opportunities that possess huge gain potential. But how is an independent trader supposed to scan the entire market looking for these hidden opportunities? One simple answer: the opening call newsletter. Basil Chapman, developer of the Chapman Wave trading methodology, has been trading the markets for longer than most trading influencers have been alive. And over that time, he has honed his methodology in order to accurately call movements in a wide range of equities, from semiconductors to uranium to key indices and so much more. Basil is old school, taking the time to educate the trader while also giving his insights into key indices, selective stocks, and more. Opening call subscribers also receive access to dozens of educational live streams that can be accessed at any time for your edification. All first-time subscribers receive a 30-day money-back guarantee. So ignore the pop trading influencers and start learning time-tested technical analysis.
In the world of trading, only a few names stand out like Larry Pesavento, a pro's pro with over 50 years of experience. Larry has seen it all. A former Chicago Mercantile Exchange member, Larry has authored 10 books and trained over 1,000 traders with his unmatched expertise. Introducing Fibonacci 24/7, Larry Pesavento's daily trading service that turns the complexity of markets into opportunities. Published every Sunday, receive a comprehensive report packed with detailed commentary, charts, and videos that illuminate the patterns shaping the markets, with updates throughout the week exclusively for subscribers. Whether through charts or videos, Larry's analysis is your roadmap to navigating the markets. You can sign up now at TFNN.com for just $97. And with all TFNN newsletters backed by a 30-day money-back guarantee, you have nothing to risk. For all the details, visit TFNN.com. You'll find Fibonacci 24/7 right under the newsletters tab.
The reality is that navigating financial markets can be risky. Markets can be chaotic and difficult to understand. Having the latest market advice can help you turn this chaos into a key for creating winning trades. At TFNN, we understand that it can be hard to find reliable market news. That's why each of our market experts offers their very own market newsletter. A must-have tool for every trader out there striving to find an edge in today's markets. TFNN newsletters cover every aspect of the markets so you can analyze the market before you trade. Try any of our great newsletters risk-free with our 30-day money-back guarantee. Just visit the Newsletters tab on the front page of TFNN.com. TFNN. Educating investors.
Don't forget, you can listen to TFNN live on your mobile device 24 hours per day. Go to TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV. That's TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV.
Welcome back, folks. Amazon up nearly 16% up. Yeah, I just can't help myself. And I do have Amazon retirement account, folks. I know I'm biased. It's a great equity. Those are big numbers on AWS right now. Up nearly 16% to 372. But Google, it's continuing the run, up by 7.4% for Google shares. Microsoft up 3%. Microsoft goes from 390 to 465 in the span of 2 trading days. This market's popping, man. We're rushing into the close right now. You got NVIDIA up 3.4%. Remarkable numbers. Jump over some of the software companies. Salesforce up 1.7%. Palantir up 0.6%. Jump over to Intuit. Flat on the session. And Adobe up 0.9. Check out the banks. Always the bad ticks on the banks. Always. There you go. JP Morgan up by 0.5%. Let's check out the airlines real quick. Yeah. Crude a problem, down by 1%. And yeah, the earnings for the oil companies this morning. They're making boatloads of cash, up 2.6% for Chevron. ExxonMobil actually down by 0.7%, but both of those well up this year. And a lot of that acceleration for each of them actually taking place coming into the war. All right, maybe somebody knew something, man, because crude hadn't pushed that higher yet, but these things all plowed higher into March. And then we're slightly higher from there. This is an Exxon from where we started the year. And then Chevron, beginning of the year as well. because since the war, you're up slightly, but Chevron 2.5% on their numbers. Gold at 41.06, but yields are the story right now, folks. It's not stopping. Yields and the dollar, right? But we hit a 107 handle on that 10-year, 4.75, and the dollar at 99.90. Look at that moving that last, this weekly on the dollar. How about that one? All right, you take it away. We're into June 15th on the dollar, 99.90, but equities, chip stocks, Amazon, Google, Microsoft, NVIDIA, S&P's up by 0.8%. Chip stocks charging higher, leading this market up by 0.8% as well. Folks, thanks so much for tuning in. Have a great weekend, safe weekend. Enjoy your time out there, folks. Enjoy it. Spend it wisely. Enjoy that weekend. Thanks so much for being here, folks. We'll see you Monday. Have a great one, folks. Wow.